who's wrong and who's wronger. In this corner, followed by millions, James the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell. And in that corner, ignored by millions, Steve Dash Rinko Leavers.
Back, everybody. And James, it has been so long. Are you still healthy? Are you still okay?
Yeah, I feel like it's been years since I've talked to you, and honestly, it wasn't long enough. If we could take another few-year hiatus, I would be okay with that.
If you notice, we're still wearing the same clothes from last night, which means that we're in a whole nother zone here today. This is one of those good dates that ends with the point that you got to go home just to get new socks, one of those kind of things. Welcome to Wrong and Wronger, the podcast where the hosts never really change because it feels like we're recording two back-to-back. I am Steve from the mighty halls of Montezuma Olivas, and he is James coming to you from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Breakwell. And James, it's been so long. How have you been, really?
I am very much unchanged from when we just talked, except for the fact that my brain still hurts. Here's the problem with back-to-back episodes. Like, usually I have a full week to decompress from the sound of your voice and your terrible illogical arguments. But right now, they're still bouncing around in my head, causing me pain. Like, I should have gone and just taken an injection of aspirin to get over this, but I didn't. But I will soldier on for the sake of the show, because beating you is just that important.
Wow. Well, see, he does it all for you, the fan, the listener, the watcher. So imagine the sacrifice that it takes both of us to just sit here every week across from each other. And James, that kind of reminds me, but before I had the perfect segue, but we've got to let the people know what the topic today is going to be. This is going to make breakfast a war zone in most households.
Yes, the topic is bacon versus sausage. Dun, dun,
oh,
dun.
Man. I know.
We'll
people are watching and listening in the morning.
We'll have the sound effects department put in the real dun, 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 you know.
Oh, yeah, no. That gets stuck in during post.
Yeah, that's why we have interns. Why and a whole production team.
We wanted to hire really smoking hot interns, but all we got right now is Breakwell. That's all we got.
What? I've been demoted to intern now. I guess that explains why I don't get paid. But
that's exactly right. You wear several hats. Yeah. One of which is intern, and the others are probably a couple steps below that, to be honest with you. But the segue for us is going to be this, that I ran a 2-hour poll before we had this show starting today, and it was, who would you rather have dinner with? You know, those conversations people get into, the hypotheticals. And my 4 choices were Elon Musk, Tom Brady, Warren Buffett, or Olivas and Breakwell. And dare I say, and this was completely unbiased on the parts of my Twitter followers, but you and I won. We got almost half the votes.
Yeah, I don't believe that poll for a second. I mean, I don't even want to have dinner with you, so I don't know why anybody would want to have dinner with both of us. Maybe if they could just come and talk to me, but both of us together, no way.
There were several.
Yeah, I had a meal with you once. It was awful. Never again. Do they know this? We talked about it.
Thank God.
We have warned them.
Lovely Lola.
Yes.
Lola was there, and we ended up talking about what she does for a living, just so you and I didn't have to look at or talk to each other about anything relevant.
I just pretended you weren't there and stared off into space, and then covered my ears so I didn't have to hear your voice. It was the only way I could get through the meal without gagging.
Yeah, and your 4 girls they chewed while unblinkingly staring at me, like from whatever position they were at in the table.
Yeah, well, when they see something that unusual, you can't help but stare. I tell them not to. You shouldn't stare at the less fortunate, but in your case, they saw that face, they're like,
Well, we're recording back-to-back because for all the complaining, the whining, the sniveling that Breakwell does about my schedule, you want to explain to people why we're doing 2 back-to-back today, James?
We're taking a family vacation. Once a year, I'm allowed to leave town with my family, but it has disrupted your schedule. I see it's a great inconvenience. I'm already regretting the vacation just because it requires us to talk twice in a row. Is a week of freedom worth an extra 25 minutes with you? I don't think it is. I made a horrible miscalculation.
All right. I just want to say, when I'm out of town, we still record. When you're out of town, the whole world has to adjust to Master Breakwell and his giant intern vacation that he's taking.
Since I have the computer that fixes everything, I'm the decider here. I'm not going to bring a desktop computer and 2 monitors and all this stuff, like, you know, to an Airbnb in another city. That doesn't seem like a great decision. So if I'm going to edit this here, it's got to be now. So yes, I will take charge and disrupt your life. The show must go on for all 6 people listening. So all 6 of you, you're welcome. And we should really just start calling them by name. You know, if we're going to have that small core of people, they deserve to be acknowledged. They're suffering just as much as we are here, if not more.
And yet they keep coming back. What's wrong with our followers?
I think they click on the link by mistake. It happens. There's so many things out there. They're probably trying to click on NPR or something. They end up here, and they just don't know how to get off it because they're old. That's my guess. You know, kind of like you change the channel and your remote dies, so you just sit there and watch it. That's same thing, same exact thing.
Or you're just afraid to make a change because we're the devil you know.
That is true. There's a big, scary world out there. Don't go see it. Stick with us.
All right, well, at least you said we're up to 6 watchers and listeners now, because we've been hovering in the 2 to 3 range, and I'm fairly certain my mother has dropped off in the last several months. I don't hear from her much anymore, and that's probably a bad thing.
Well, I don't know if she survived that lemon that one time, like your very first penalty video where she just walked up and took a bite out of it. She will forever impress me with that, but that can't be great for her digestive tract.
I've never done another one at their house because that was the end of that.
was that
shown up by your
rehearsed?
mother.
I've wondered to this day if that was planned or not.
That was not rehearsed.
That was not what she just walked in and did it. That was amazing. I should be doing a podcast with her, not you. There was a whole... you're going to have to sit down for this one, James, but there was a lot of whining on my part before then. So I went, and I think you noticed at the time, I bought the littlest lemons that I could possibly find, and I got a few of them so I could sprinkle them into the fruit bowl so it looked like that was the ones that my mom bought and just kind of had on hand. And the lemon was peeled ahead of time because I didn't want to take time in the video to peel it. And there was a whole litany of things that I was complaining about while I was doing it. And apparently my mother had had enough. And I don't know if you've ever reached that point with me, but she did. Yeah, that was when we were back at our best, where losing a challenge caused physical suffering rather than just embarrassment. I think there's one thing we've discovered, and we're both incapable of feeling shame. We can humiliate ourselves forever, and it will never slow us down. But one little tiny bit of physical pain, and we are out. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, geez, the one time I tried to buffer myself against physical pain, all of your people turned on me like a pack of dogs on a 3-legged cat. Like they attacked when I mixed those hot wings with ice cream.
That was a whole nother level of shame. I could not even believe you did that. Ice cream. You mixed hot wings with ice cream to avoid the pain. You didn't even know you were eating hot wings. I doubt you could taste them. That was disgraceful. That was what that was.
Let's just say I didn't taste them with my mouth on that day.
Well, I'm glad. At least, as long as it hurts you somehow, I can sleep well at night. That's the important thing.
All right. Well, that has been a very unpleasant walk down memory lane for me. All right, are you ready to get this party started?
No, we haven't even complimented each other yet. That was just 8 straight minutes of insults.
Hey, let me compliment you first on your avoiding any of these penalty videos that cause pain.
Yeah, I was pretty good. I'm very skillful at winning when I need to win, and also winning when I don't need to win. That's my specialty. Because I'm the best. I'm not going to apologize for it. So thank you for that completely not sarcastic compliment at all. And
oh, well, let's hear your meaningful, heartfelt compliment then.
And my compliment to you is, congratulations on not having taste buds. All these years later, I still don't understand how ice cream and blazing hot wings didn't make you gag. But it didn't. You ate like a duck without chewing. Just the food just went straight down the hatch. I think you even tore it off the bone beforehand. and not a grimace on there. I think you were rendered incapable of taste years ago, which really explains so many of our debates, how you're always on the wrong side when it involves ketchup or anything else with actual flavor. So congratulations on not letting your disability as far as not being able to taste things hold you back. You kept going forward to continue being wrong on this show. So good for you.
Wow. Once again, the master of warmth comes through. The shining example of how to compliment people, kids. Write that one down. And actually, excuse me, the wings with the ice cream was not bad, I gotta say.
Yeah? I don't believe you, but again, you don't have taste buds, so I feel like you're not qualified to judge.
Well, my lack of taste allows me to keep coming back here every week. So,
yes,
without further ado, let us flip the Guam quarter of fate. And we've got bacon versus sausage. Which side will each side represent?
All right, heads up, I'm bacon. Tails up, I'm sausage. Let's do this.
Yeah, you are. All right, you just can't lose in this argument, I tell you what. It is up, it is down, and it is, can we see it? Tails. Guam is looking at me. You, sir, have sausage.
Well, thank goodness, because you probably just think you won, but you were on the wrong side of the internet curve. See, bacon was a fad. For a while, people put bacon on everything, and they laughed about it. It was the in thing, but like everything on the internet, bacon has run its course. If you say put bacon on your donut or bacon on this or bacon on that, people just roll their eyes at you, because as a society, we have moved on. Our tastes grow and our tastes mature. Sausage is where it's at. Breakfast sausage comes in a variety of flavors, a variety of types. With bacon, you really just get bacon and lesser bacon. Like you either have bacon or you have turkey bacon, which is a little bit worse, or some other animal's bacon, vegan bacon, which is many times worse. It just goes downhill from where you start. But vegan bacon is a thing. It's not bacon, but they call it vegan bacon. There's dog food bacon. Again, not... You know, they just go down in quality. But I think the biggest knock on bacon is sausage always has flavor. Nobody thinks to burn their sausage to a crisp to make it chewy and brown, so you can't actually taste anything. It's got some softness to it still. But bacon, the way people cook bacon is they bake the heck out of it until you can snap it in half with your fingers. It's hard and tasteless. You don't do that with any other kind of meat. But the recommended way to cook bacon is to cook the flavor out of it. And it blows my mind. People eat it just because it's bacon and not because it tastes good. If you want to leave it so it actually has a little bit of life to it, I mean, you could have an argument. But I'm betting you burn your bacon till it's unrecognizable. But again, since you don't have taste buds, you don't know the difference. But that's why burnt crispy bacon has nothing on breakfast sausage. And that's the hill I'll die on.
James, I haven't burnt my sausage to a crisp since I went to that one beach in Aruba back in the early 90s. But
we're never debating anything sausage related again.
The breakfast buffet is what I'm talking about. You were allowed to kind of tell that. I don't know how your mind works, but it's in the gutter. How dare you, James Breakwell, bring this to that level? Anyway, you've also demonstrated for us not only are you a little pervy with the way that you think, but also you can't cook. Who cooks bacon until it'll snap like pencil lead? Like, nobody does that.
They do.
Maybe you want a little crisp. What?
My wife cooks it that way. My parents cook it that way. I don't understand it.
Well, that's their preference then. It's not that they always do that because that's the only way to do that. That's why it's like having ketchup on steak. You do it because you love it, not because you have to. But bacon can be cooked in any... There's a whole gradation of when bacon is done. You can have it a little floppy. I like it kind of half and half. I like the fat to be a little floppy, but a little crisp in the middle. My wife likes it a little crisper than I do. It's versatile. And I believe you mentioned earlier how versatile bacon is. The vegans can enjoy a succulent strip of bacon that's cut right off the kale animal that's running around. Probably it's like a farm raise. They don't want to raise their kale in a cage. That's awful. But we've got dog food bacon. We've got toe bacon or tofurkey bacon or whatever the heck that stuff is. And then we have the bacon as God intended bacon, which is almost like just taking a bite right out of a pig. Ah, it's awesome. I can just say the word hard bacon and I'm going to win this argument. But bacon is on so many things. You put bacon on hamburgers, you put bacon on hot dogs, little Bacos on salad. Bacon is so good, even fake bacon is freaking awesome, man. And we buy little cutlets of filet mignon that they come in little 2-packs, and they have bacon wrapped around them for added succulence. There is nothing that you can't put bacon on that'll make it better. Ice cream will be better with bacon. Sonic has shakes that have bacon in the shake. Man, that's how good it is. I don't know how you could argue anything resembling that with sausage.
It's a fad. It's a fad, and 10 years ago, bacon was just a few places. It was a side at breakfast, and that was about it. And now people are throwing bacon on everything, trying to make a quick buck. But the world has gotten wiser. That's why this trend is receding. You are trying to cash in and take advantage of people's recent nostalgia, but people are over bacon. They have bacon burnout. You can't just throw bacon on everything year after year and not face some blowback. But sausage has some versatility. The biggest argument for sausage outside of breakfast is pizza. Pepperoni and sausage are the two biggest toppings for pizza. Bacon is a rarity. Very rarely will somebody get bacon on their pizza. You can get it, but next to pepperoni and sausage, it simply doesn't taste as good. It doesn't have as much flavor. If bacon were really the best, why wouldn't it be the dominant meat on pizzas today? When they show commercials on TV, what do they show? They show pepperoni, they show sausage. They almost never show bacon. Bacon ends up all crumbled up and unrecognizable and flavorless on there. But pizza is the great battlefield. You lay down some crust and some pizza sauce and some cheese, and you let the meats battle it out to the death. And time again, sausage is coming out on top of bacon, and it's not even close. The pizza battlefield is decided, and sausage is the winner. So you can have sausage for dinner or breakfast with pizza, or you can have a breakfast pizza actually with sausage on it. And then for lunch and dinner, you can have pizza with sausage. You can do sausage 3 meals a day. Bacon is really just a breakfast food, and outside of that, it's a novelty. It's a gimmick. That's all it is, and it's over. It's time to accept it that sausage is better than bacon.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, Mr. Breakwell. And when really you're arguing as if pizza is the only thing people ever eat, and maybe it is the only thing you ever eat. Well, hang on a minute. I did share a meal with you once. What did we have again?
We had pizza, and it had sausage on it.
That's right.
Sausage pizza, no bacon involved.
We had pizza. Thank you for making my point that must be the only thing you eat. And so everything that you filter with what is good and what is bad comes through that big, like the oil filter of pizza that you have when you think about food. There's a lot of stuff out there, James. There's a whole world, a culinary experience. It's like it's a carnival out there with different foods, a theme park. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Amusement park. That's what I'm looking for. The world is an amusement park of food, and bacon is the big carousel in the middle that just everyone flocks to. It is the meeting point. If kids go off without their parents, they meet back at bacon at 8:30 before we go home. Like, bacon is that center point. Sausage, too. I'll say one other thing about cooking sausage. Bacon, it doesn't matter when it's done. It's always going to be done, and it'll be good. Sausage can get mealy. Like, it's soft and squishy sometimes, and I am in 75 hotels a year, and I know bad sausage. I've rarely, if ever, had bad bacon, because bacon doesn't take a lot to master. Obviously it does, or you would be able to cook it in some way other than putting napalm on it. But sausage has a beginning, middle, and end of being able to cook it. Like, it's not cooked enough, it's a small window of perfect, and then too cooked. And it's not cool for me. I like bacon. You flip
the meats there. Bacon is so much easier to ruin because it's so thin. It's the thinnest possible slice of meat. People cook it like it's supposed to be beef jerky or something. It ends up tough and brittle at the same time. Anytime I've gone to a breakfast buffet at a hotel, the bacon has been abysmal. Every single time. But the sausage has a greater margin for error. I have never in my entire life had bad breakfast sausage. Not one time. Not one time have I had a sausage link and been disappointed. Bacon is disappointing all the time. At its best, when people don't cook it quite so much, when they leave the flavor in it, it still looks and moves like meat. I agree, it can be good. But when you overcook it like it is in all of those breakfast buffets, and you know it is, it's a gimmick. It's like, oh, look at us, we're treating you well. We have inedible bacon. And they save money because they put 6 pieces of bacon up there and nobody eats it because it tastes terrible. That's how they get around it. But the sausage tray is going to get emptied out again and again and again because that's what people prefer. Sausage has been around forever. You can get the links, you can get the patties, you can get it a little bit spicy. You can't get spicy bacon, but you can get spicy sausage. You can get maple sausage. You can get all flavors of sausage from all kinds of different animals. It is the most versatile of the breakfast meats. Bacon is just bacon. That's all it is. That's all it'll ever be. And it's probably going to end up burned and not what you want, but you're going to eat it anyway so the other internet people think you're cool. I'm telling you, dear listener, think outside the box. Don't be confined by the fad, but open your mind to sausage. If you came before bacon, it'll be here long after.
You know, if you ever stayed in a hotel that doesn't rent rooms by the hour, you would understand that bacon can be done properly by a chef that actually wears a hat and not just a hairnet. All right, let us, we're getting on in time here, man. We're wasting people's time now. Let's roll the dice and let people figure out how to vote for Steve.
First of all, we're not wasting people's time now. We were wasting it from the start. From the first moment we hit record, we were wasting people's time. Let's go ahead and roll for this. If you want to vote for me and sausage and the future, you can vote for 68. If you
68.
want to vote for Steve and bacon and the past and brittle flavorlessness, you can vote for 54.
54.
And if you want to throw away your vote, you can vote for 89.
89. We've had that one a lot. That's Benny Cunningham.
I'm happy for you. I really am.
I know. I'm just here to educate you, enlighten you, elucidate with all of my pedagogy. So this is another week where you're going to have to pull out Google to figure out what we're talking about. But there you go. Vote for Steve. All you've got to know is one number, and that's 54. Whatever James's number is irrelevant because nobody likes sausage better than bacon. It wouldn't make you a human being. So until next week, and we need you here next week. In fact, bring a friend, bring a group of friends, pull up a bus. James is going to make potato salad. No, wait a minute, that's right. He doesn't need mayonnaise. James is... That might have been last week's show. Never mind. Anyhow, but James is going to bring a nice dish to pass that has nothing in it that is spoilable. No deviled eggs either for Breakwell. But bring everybody. Subscribe on SoundCloud. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Stitcher. Man, Stitcher has been the program of choice for many people because I think that's yours, James, your favorite.
It is my favorite. You can listen to it at double speed, which is amazing. You get all of my brilliance at twice the speed, and you have to listen to Steve for half as long. It's the way to do it. I totally recommend double speed.
And don't forget about Spotify. We're up there now. We're on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes if you have an Apple. We're on Podcast Addict if you have an Android. And I was with someone last week on the road that looked us up and immediately subscribed on Podcast Addict. So it is alive and well out there for the Android people.
That is good to hear. We're up to 7 subscribers. We are setting the world on fire.
All right, until next week, this is Steve Olivas for James the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell saying thanks for watching and thanks for listening, everybody. And we will see you next week. 2 wrongs before we go. Don't make a right, or can't make a right. God, I still screwed it up, Breakwell. Dang it.